In this video, I'm going to talk about pharmaceutical companies and settlements they have made. I'm going to touch on Wikipedia's list of largest pharmaceutical settlements. I'm going to talk about ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, an article about FDA's new guidance for off-label promotion is only a start. And I'm going to go to an LA Times article about two California counties suing five of the world's largest narcotics manufacturers, Big Pharma and their elves. So, to start off with, let me just shoot through this list. Wikipedia's list from 2004-2012. The largest settlement on the list, $3 billion from GlaxoSmithKline, off-label promotion and failure to disclose safety data, also paying kickbacks to physicians, making false and misleading statements concerning the safety of Avenida, reporting false best prices and underpaying rebates owed under the Medicaid drug rebate program. They also make Paxil, Lamictal, Zofran, Wellbutrin, and other commonly used pharmaceuticals, especially for psychiatry and psychiatric illnesses. Pfizer, $2.3 billion suit, off-label promotions, kickbacks. Abbott Laboratories, which makes Depakote, $1.5 billion off-label promotion. Eli Lilly, $1.4 billion off-label promotion. TAP Pharmaceutical Products, $875 million Medicare fraud, kickbacks. Amgen, $762 million off-label promotions, kickbacks. GlaxoSmithKline, and again, this is in 2010, the other one is 2012. $750 million. I'm going actually from, more recently to more in the past. Serono, $704 million off-label promotions, kickbacks, monopoly practices. Merck, $650 million Medicare fraud, kickbacks. Purdue Pharma, $601 million off-label promotions. Allergan, $600 million off-label promotions. AstraZeneca, $520 million off-label promotions, kickbacks. Bristol Myers Squibb, $550 million off-label promotions, kickbacks, Medicare fraud. Schering Plough, $500 million, poor manufacturing practices. Schering Plough again, $435 million off-label promotions, kickbacks, Medicare fraud. Pfizer, $430 million off-label promotion. They make Neurontin, for those of you who don't know. Also, they were busted, doing experiments on children in northern Nigeria. They had to pay that. It's not on the list, but anyway, Cephalon, $425 million off-label promotion. Novartis, $423 million off-label promotion, kickbacks. AstraZeneca again, $355 million Medicare fraud. Schering Plough, $345 million Medicare fraud, kickbacks. Moving on, next article, or next, site. Well, in this case, it's an article. So, FDA's new guidance for off-label promotion is only a start. It goes on to talk about, you can read the article for yourself. I'm just going to get to the part that sticks out the most to me, including one action that led to $30 million fine against Pfizer over its marketing of gabapentin, which is also known as Neurontin. In 2006, a psychiatrist was arrested and charged with accepting more than $100,000 from Jazz Pharmaceuticals for promoting off-label uses of gamma hydroxybutyrate, or butyrate, which is also known as Xyrem, a product that had been proved to treat narcolepsy. So, it talks about the guidelines that were set by the FDA and how these pharmaceutical companies walk a thin line, and sometimes they get sued because they're treading on thin ice with their sick off-label promotions and questionable practices and procedures and processes. Someone needs to work on their business plan, their business protocols, etc. Going on to the LA Times article titled LA/me/RX/Big Pharma/Big/Pharma/suit/ certain number, etc. Two California counties sued, well, that's not the title, that's the link, sued five of the world's largest narcotics manufacturers on Wednesday, accusing the companies of causing the nation's prescription drug epidemic by waging a campaign of deception aimed at boosting sales of potent painkillers such as OxyContin. Now, for those of you who know anything about prescription drug abuse and overdoses, OxyContin and Percocet are in the forefront. They're some of the most abused painkillers, and here you got these companies promoting them for off-label uses and waging a campaign of deception to get more people hooked on them, because they know not only will their sales go up from the quote-unquote legal uses of them, but people will get hooked and they'll seek them in the streets. And their sales will go up that way, because someone has to get them from the company eventually to give them to the people in the streets. Even if they get some kind of knockoff version of it from Mexico, you know, there's still going to be a certain percentage of it coming from the company itself. You know, people aren't just going to buy the knockoffs. They're also going to get it from, you know, the companies that make these prescription painkillers. And they've been promoting these narcotics, these opioid drugs, opiate-based painkillers for, you know, all kinds of things, off-label uses, basically. So it goes on to say the widespread prescribing of narcotics has created a population of addicts and triggered a resurgence in the use of heroin, which produces a similar high to opiate-based painkillers, but it's cheaper. So not only are they killing more people with these painkillers, they're also causing more people to turn to heroin for a similar effect, which causes more people to die. It goes back to the saying, making a killing. Now, I couldn't even, you know, begin to tell you all the hits I got just from typing in pharmaceutical company sued on Google. It goes on, you know, there's Supreme Court rulings, there's ex-priests suing these guys, Spitzer sues drug giant for deceiving doctors, on and on, pharmaceutical litigation, who can sue, when can patients sue drug companies by NCBI, on and on, you know. It said over 1 million results in 0.34 seconds. And of course, I'm not going to go through them all, but you can imagine the amounts of lawsuits against these unscrupulous demons and how there are people making deals under the table. Sometimes the FDA cracks down on them, sometimes the FBI cracks down on them, but sometimes they don't. You know how that goes. You know, you have your drug dealers that work with the system and know how to get away with it more than others. And you have those who try to do it but aren't as smooth as the other ones, who end up getting sued for billions of dollars. But even though they get sued, they're making so much money off getting people addicted to these drugs that they keep on going, you know? It's like a snowball going down a hill. You know, every once in a while they take a little snow off the ball and give it away, but the snowball keeps rolling and keeps building up snow. And that snowball represents their profit. And that ripping a piece of snow off represents them paying, you know, settlements and lawsuits and legal fees and kickbacks, etc. So the second most profitable industry in America, probably in the world, has to do with drug dealers, and they get cracked down on by the same people that drug dealers get cracked down on by. The DEA, the FBI, and the FDA. So why does America continue to trust these companies who are too big to fail, so to speak? You know, they can pay $3 billion lawsuits and keep on kicking, you know? So in the end, their Medicare fraud, their kickbacks, their off-label promotions, it's just the tip of the iceberg. We have a bigger problem here. It's called a lack of empathy, a lack of knowledge, a lack of wisdom, a lack of morality. If I was going to put all these things into one phrase, it would be very controversial, but I would call it capitalism. The idea that we put money, capital, above everything, and he with a goal makes the rules, whether it is the bankers, whether it's big pharmaceutical companies, whether it is the mafia, whether it is drug dealers. These guys will keep doing what they do. And just like the mafia, if they ever get caught, there'll be a bunch of old men who don't have long to live anyway and have tons of money in offshore accounts and just say, oh, I've been caught. Oh, boo-hoo. Or it'll be like Carlo Gambino. I believe Carlo Gambino died while he was on trial. Okay, this guy had killed countless people. One of the most bloody criminal organizations in history, the Gambino family, killing more people than we'll ever know. And when the guy finally gets put on trial, he dies a happy old man. Is that the future of America? Thank you.